Pittsburgh, while Shedeur Sanders still waits to see if he'll be named QB2. He's throwing his support behind his team.
We're going to make sure we do everything we can to make sure they're ready for the game. So, whatever that means. So each and every day, even when Joe was the starter, everything, to prepare the right way and be ready to know that we get out there at any point in time. So, I'm overly confident within myself. So I know when I first got here, I'm ready to play. But, it's up to the coaches and, whatever decision, they make, that I'm fine with.
I think he answered that well. I mean, what else is he going to say? Hope he doesn't play. Of course not. He's going to back up his guy, especially in that very crowded QB room that's been that way for several months. But are we more intrigued to watch Dillon Gabriel or Aaron Rodgers this Sunday? Because we talk about this like old school, new school quarterback situation, Cam.
I'm excited to see Aaron Rodgers, but, man, shout out to Shedeur, man, for answering that question. As he get up in the ranking, he's understanding, hey, you got to keep it polished just a little bit more, man. So, if everybody else ain't going to tell you, bro, man, keep doing you. But back to Rodgers. The Cleveland Browns possess something that Aaron Rodgers and his Steelers offense are deficient at, and that's producing offense. And I want to see this 3-1 record get tested versus a valuable source versus a valuable defense. When you look at the Cleveland Browns, they're number one or top 3 in total defense, passing defense, top 5, and then obviously you cannot run the ball on them for no stretch of the imagination. All those things are where the Pittsburgh Steelers are deficient at. They're 31st in rushing, they're 30th in total offense, and as far as passing, they're 27th. My biggest question, as we always talk about, Stephen A's Pittsburgh Steelers, is do they have enough amenities on the offensive side of the football? And the Cleveland Browns defensively have kept them in most games all year, and I don't see that changing moving forward with this week.
I'm more intrigued with Dillon Gabriel because I want to see whether or not the Cleveland Browns are going to have a quarterback, especially with watching Jackson Dart last night with the New York Giants. Where's your rookie? Where's your guy? Who's going to step up? And I'm not talking about just playing. I'm talking about magnetizing the crowd. Jackson Dart was in New Orleans a week ago. He didn't look that great, but he still has Giants fans incredibly, incredibly excited because of his game and the swag that comes with it. Is there anyone in Cleveland that has that? Shedeur Sanders thinks he does, but we have to wait to see him play to know whether or not that's true on the NFL level. Dillon Gabriel is one of the more experienced rookies you'll ever see because he was in college for 6 years and played about 64 games, okay? But what is he going to do on the NFL level? It remains to be seen. I'm curious about that, especially against a Steelers defense that I have not been overly impressed with. I was very impressed with them for 3.5 quarters against Minnesota in Ireland, and then obviously they almost wet the bed, had me texting Ryan Clark and saying they better not lose this damn game on a Sunday morning. I mean, that's where I was with that. I'm like, they better not lose this damn game. It really ticked me off. And so I just want to see what Dillon Gabriel does, because this is what we need to remember with the Cleveland Browns. You don't get to just look at 2025. Y'all, do y'all know they've made the playoffs twice in 23 years? 23 years. They've made the playoffs twice. It's gotten to the point where we have a right to look at the Cleveland Browns organization and ask, hey, fellas, do any of y'all know what y'all doing? Any of y'all? Could you figure it out? And I don't enjoy saying that because I'm unapologetic when it comes to black head coaches and black executives. I'm rooting for them. And we know Barry's in Cleveland, and I get that. But, I got to see something. I got to see something. And hopefully I'll see that before this season is over, that you have definitively found a quarterback. That's why I'm more curious about Dillon Gabriel.
Yeah, the first thing I want to say is I'm excited we get to talk about Dillon Gabriel and point out what Cam pointed out. We're talking about Dillon Gabriel because when asked the question about his quarterback position this week, Shedeur Sanders said we're doing everything to get Dillon prepared. And he answered the question in a way where you couldn't criticize him, where you couldn't talk badly about him, where you couldn't say that he went about anything in the wrong way, which is why he's not a topic right now. And I think that's important to note that it is about growth, it is about understanding, and it is about understanding and playing your role within the locker room, which Shedeur Sanders did very well during that clip. And now, secondly, hell yeah, I want to see Aaron Rodgers. And this is what I be talking about. Stephen A, old fake Steeler fan, bruh. How you, like, I don't get it. Like, you like, it's like one of them people that, and Cam talked about it last week, that every time, like, it's always a compliment sandwich or, hey, I don't mean no disrespect. I'm finna disrespect you. And then how people be like, not to bring up old stuff, but I'm gonna bring up old stuff. Like, it's always that. I had to text RC last week because I was asking him not to blow this lead. Why don't you just talk about him winning? Because if you talk about him winning, then you can say, okay, this team is 3-1. They're about to face one of the top defenses in football, a defense that's only given up 147 yards passing a game. And by the way, Megatron plays defensive end for him, and his name is Myles Garrett. How are they going to protect Aaron Rodgers at the age of 41? How is Aaron Rodgers going to get the ball to DK Metcalf when Denzel Ward is locked up on him? And you know why it's important, Stephen A? Because at 3-1, they are in the hunt. They in the hunt to win the AFC North. Everybody there is terrible. Now, the Bills then lost. They show crap. Kansas City ain't Kansas City. The Chargers losing. And you worried about Dylan Gabriel? I told you, man, you be double dutching. Like, you can't claim us no more. You ain't no real fan, bruh.
First of all. Yeah, I'm glad. And I'm glad both of y'all here for this, because both of y'all getting on my damn nerves. He accused me of double dutching last week, and then now you accusing me of doing it this week. Y'all ain't gonna get away with this double dutch comment too much. Ain't nobody scared of y'all. Let me tell you something right now. You said it best. You understand? You're a player. I'm a fan. So let's talk about it from the fandom perspective. Since you want to ignore, you want to talk about the player perspective, right? You want to say they won. You want sitting there watching that game and going like this. Damn. How the hell they come back? How Minnesota coming back? How are they on the verge about to win this game? I mean, the Steelers dominate for 3.5 quarters. Gonna fly all the way over to Ireland. You understand? Got everybody doing features about the Steelers and their connection to the Irish coach and all of this stuff. And they're about to blow this damn game, okay? This is what we're talking about here, okay? That's Carson Wentz. Let's not forget that. The Carson Wentz, all right? So that's number one. Number two, when we sit up there, right? Cam, you can talk about this and a double dutching. I don't mind. Damn it, my sisters taught me how to double dutch when I was young. I don't do it anymore, but damn it, I did it when I was young. I don't do it on first take. Here's the issue. Steelers have not won a playoff game since 2016. I get to look at them and go like this. Is that going to beat the Buffalo Bills? Is that going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs? Is that going to beat the Denver Broncos? Is that going to beat the way I'm watching the Indianapolis Colts and the Jacksonville Jaguars look this year? Are we going to get a playoff win? I get to ask that question because the last time the Steelers, forget the fact that the last time they won a playoff game was 2016. The last time they were relevant in the postseason was when they lost to Jacksonville. We remember that, RC? Yes, 45-42. 2017, Cam. The Jacksonville Jaguars dropped 45 on them, led by Blake Bortles. I'm going to say it again. Blake Bortles. Don't talk to me about fake Steeler fandom. I have suffered. Steeler Nation has suffered. We want results. There's nothing wrong with that. Love Tomlin. You know, love Coach T. You understand? Aaron Rodgers, they're going to upgrade from the Mitchell Trubisky's and the Mason Rudolph. They gave us Mason Rudolph. They gave us Mitchell Trubisky. Last year, they tried to sell us on Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. We have suffered. They kept Big Ben Roethlisberger for 2 years longer than you should have. Steeler Nation has suffered. And I'm telling you right now, Cam, I'm telling you right now, RC, which y'all could be a double dutcher. Steeler Nation will double dutch with me all day on this topic.